So Sonali, today when we had the RBI governor with us, he spoke about 9 points. He enumerated what the future economy looks like and what the RBI is doing to see to that things are online. And he did mention that technology is one of the major factors which would contribute to digital transformation, and future on technology would be something that every one of us would be looking forward to. So this is something that we would be discussing now, an interesting topic in now after this conversation, of course. So let's talk about the evolution of the fintech ecosystem. You did say that at 2016 you had started out. I know that at 2016 fintech was an evolution. Many of you would have remembered that at that moment. And so let's talk about where fintech was earlier, how technology has played an effort, and how the journey till now.
I think I will go back to my time in 2016. I was just talking to somebody and mentioning the same. In 2016, when I was leaving my banking career, everybody at HDFC Bank was asking me that, oh, why are you leaving banking, right? And what is fintech? Whether it is about lending or it is about technology. So those were the questions that one started the journey with. And I think over the last 8 to 9 years, the appreciation in terms of what fintech is and how technology plays an integral role in terms of lending, that has been established. So the proof of concept in terms of an institution that is truly built on technology, that proof of concept definitely has been laid out. So one of the key things that I would want to bring across is that when one talks about fintech, right, fintech has two components. One is obviously the lending component, which banks and NBFCs have been doing it very efficiently, and capital is an important driver. But the technology component, which is about having technology on processes like underwriting, using technology on customer support, using technology on collections, using technology on every little process, right from customer acquisition to collections, is what we've truly demonstrated. So as much as I talk about it, we as an organization have a 500, we are a 500 member organization, but around 350 people are technology and analytics. There is zero manual underwriting that happens in the system. So that in itself is a big testimony of what we've achieved as an institution or what we've achieved as a vertical. I was recently looking at a CIBIL report, which basically said that there are 26 crore active borrowers in the country. When I ventured out in 2016, that number was around 8 odd crores. So in terms of financial penetration, in terms of the contribution that NBFCs have done, fintechs have done, I think we've come a long way.
Yes, and when you talk about, see, fintechs have enabled smarter and smaller payments, okay? It has almost been now a competition for microfinance, I would say. Is it not right? So lower ticket sizes has now led to, is it a time for collaborations and partnerships? What do you think? There are many bankers in this room, of course. So
yeah. I think Capital One followed this strategy, which is called as low and grow, right? Which is about saying start small with the borrowers, then over the lifetime of the customers, give higher ticket size loans, and that is where you start becoming CLTV positive. So that is one thing that we've taken from the incumbents and basically tried to implement it. So right from customer acquisition to disbursement to collections, everything is fully digital. There are two big things that we've been able to establish. One, there is a possible way of giving out loans at a cost which is very, very low. So we've managed to acquire 10 million customers. The second thing that we've been able to prove is that there is this true concept of risk-based pricing that exists, where you can charge the borrowers differently and cover a much larger mass. So, Lavanya, to your question, I really think that it is not about any competition that exists. Fintechs are truly proved that there are POCs on technology and on underwriting which work. Now it is about getting the right capital support from larger institutions, whether it is large NBFCs or banks, and making it a very collaborative sort of a relationship.
Yes, and you made an interesting observation, that you have zero underwriting, right?
Zero manual underwriting, which basically means that nobody looks at the case from login to
which is stupendous, right? Now, coming on to an important factor which would be contributing to it would be data and analytics, if I'm right. So, now this has been technology being enabled, which is all the story is all about, and now you've come to stage where manual interaction is not even required for an important function like underwriting. So where do you think it will go on further?
So Lavanya, I would take the question in two parts. I think as much as we have used digital in the right way, I think government has also been the right enabler. When we started in 2016, there was no eKYC support which was available. There was no concept of account aggregator. There was the access to the SMS data of the customer in itself was poor. Banking messages never came on SMSs. So the UPI did not exist. So the digital infrastructure also did not exist. I think both in terms of what government initiatives have done and what the technology partners have contributed, that has got FinTech where we are. I think the next 10 years, at least, the way I would see it is that it is a lot about collaboration. FinTech truly has proved that there is a niche that they have created in terms of acquiring customers. Now, if we have to cross-sell better products to this customer, get to a better lifetime value, it requires a lot of partnerships. It requires the right capital to come in, whether it is in form of equity or in form of debt or it is co-lending partnerships. So at least next 10 years, I would believe it is about fintechs working with the larger institutions and truly acting as an acquisition engine, whereas the larger institutions would act as the capital providers. So that is how I see it.
So in conclusion, can we safely say it's a time for partnership and collaboration, a new era for fintechs, and the technology being the enabler?
I think, Lavanya, the way I would put it is technology is the core. I think it's proven beyond doubt that without technology, you cannot operate. There are tons and tons of data being generated. That is becoming also the core of all the Gen AI initiatives that people are running. So I would say that technology, it is a given that technology will be the core. But next 10 years truly would be about capital partnerships. It will be about product partnerships. It would be about deepening in the customer base through collaboration. That is how I would put it.
So we throw the thought out to the audience and we end the discussion. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.